Your common interests bring you together. You hang out with your hockey player, your friends,
Yeah.
because you guys have a common denominator. And sorry, hockey's cool,
Yeah.
but again, over here, football, baseball, chess, it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
So, like, common. If you don't have anything in common, say, like, I'll play Call of Duty, and then Caleb doesn't.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to talk to him about it, and then, like, if you had nothing in common, then you wouldn't want to talk to him at all, and then you wouldn't be friends.
He might be an Assassin's Creed kind of guy, right? Isn't that a game?
Yeah.
I'm hanging in there. Try my best. It's all good. Yeah, common elements bring you together. Now, let's go back to the work ethic. Same thing. We talked about it a little bit earlier. You sort of gravitate to common interests, sort of gravitate to those that accepting, you share common things. Your work ethic can stem from that. Do you think that's true? Not that you're going to walk up to your group of friends and say, hey, I'm going to get a bad work ethic because I hang out with you. Or I'm going to get a good work ethic because I hang out with you. It's ingrained. When you hang out with people and you're trying to do something, whether on the sports field or whatever, you're moving the ball in the same direction. Fair enough? What questions do you have on strong work ethic? By the way, I was going to read you what the definition of work ethic is. Here you go. Definition of work ethic is a belief in work as a moral good, a set of values centered on the importance of doing work and reflected especially in desire or determination to work hard. I say it again. A belief in work as a moral good, a set of values centered on the importance of doing work and reflected especially in a desire or determination to work hard. And that's Webster's version. Do you agree with that? It's a lot of words. It's a lot of words to say, hey, do you buy into hard work? I grew up in the fields of Iowa. Detasseling. Anybody ever heard of that? It was awful. Had to be out in the fields early. But it got me up early. Yes, sir.
It's like an off-topic question. How many jobs have you had?
Oh, that's a good question. I started, that was when I was a kid. I started a lawnmower business when I was 12. I asked my dad for $100 to buy a lawnmower at Kmart, and I heard about it. He was pretty, I said, hey, I want to start this business. So I ended up buying it. He bought it for me. I paid him back 2 weeks later. I had that many jobs. And so that's where I started. But I got into the financial career. That's been the bulk of my career as a financial advisor. So if you want to learn stocks, bonds, mutual funds, how to short sell, you let me know. That'll be a different class.
That's personal finance.
Yeah, personal finance. And then again, the campgrounds was, my oldest was graduating from the University of Cincinnati. And I said, hey, why don't you go up and run this park? Well, eventually, when I retired from Oregon, we would be up there together as a family. You run it for 6 months, and then you have 6 months to do whatever. And he, at Cincinnati, found his future wife and said, hey, I don't think I'm going to make it up. So I had to go to my wife and say, hey, how would you feel about running a campground? It's kind of like if all of you go into a restaurant today, whether it's McDonald's or Applebee's or whatever, and then you decide, hey, let's go buy this restaurant. That's about how much experience I had in the camping industry. Not a lot. So, good question. Other questions? Do you feel like you got strong work ethic? It's rhetorical, I don't need to know. Yes, sir.
Can you you get robbed in the fine?
Can you get robbed?
I know you can, but have you ever gotten robbed?
Interesting question. No, I have not gotten robbed. Well, how so?
Like,
Scammed out of a,
like scammed or like just like robbed your business or something like that, like online or something?
yeah. I have to keep my eye on it.
Yeah.
Not me.
I think he's trying to say, like, have you been robbed, like, working at the bank?
Yeah, no, I have not. There was an interesting story I can tell you. I was actually, when I would come back, I used to actually sub. I don't know if, it's been a few years, but I enjoyed working at the middle school and here. And so I was filling in for, the band director was there, I was the choir director, and she was out for the day, and so I was just a sub that day in middle school. You guys would have been there about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe some of you weren't. But, it went on lockdown, like right before we were supposed to leave. Now, I was eating once a day, and so I would like run home and eat, right? So we got locked down, so I'm like, what does that mean? It's like, you can't go home. Well, the bank I eventually went to, they had a situation, I didn't work there at the time, and they had, somebody came in and was, for the COVID, had COVID in a bottle or whatever it was. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
I was at the middle school that day when that happened, so at least now I know what a lockdown was, so I learned, but I don't know if that answers your question, but that didn't happen when I was there, so.
Did they like,
Yeah,
get it?
they got him. I ended up like going, I think they let him walk out, but the cops got him like up in north of Piqua, I think. They got his license plate number and everything else. So, that was a whole strange for the bank, strange for all of you who had to sit. I think there was like a 20 or 25-minute delay that day, if I remember right. Anyway, we got what, a couple minutes?
We do. That was the 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Anything else? Was this interesting, boring? You're not gonna hurt my feelings. Is that all right?
Fringe.
I appreciate all of you and your attentiveness, and good luck. I think most are first, second, third year high school. Yeah. So anyway, all the best. There's pens there. If you want one, take one. If you don't need one, don't. It's up to you. Thank you very much.